game time.
Hey everybody, welcome back to NTW. My name is Rob, and yes, it is game time. We're on World of Warcraft, back on our level 56 Human Paladin, and it is the day after 8.3 dropped. And we're going to get queued up for a couple dungeons today. On deck today, we got Blackrock Detention Center and Sunken Temple, but I do expect queue times to be a little long today. So we are already queued up though. One thing I wanted to show you before we jumped in is, I'm sure most people know, the auction house has been revamped. And I haven't seen the auction house revamped in, just to guess, I'd say 6 years. I think when they redid Stormwind and kind of moved stuff around up front, I think that was the last time I've seen it get revamped. So, but it has been revamped. It looks cooler. It's definitely a lot more, I would say, casual player friendly. As far as people who actually play the auction house, I don't know how that'll affect them or the currency, but in any case, like I said, I expect queue times to be a little long today, being the day after the big content release. So, but keep an eye on the time. I'll come back when we get queued up. Alright, we have gotten into Blackrock Depths. This is the detention center. This is one of two parts. So the description says, the smoldering Blackrock Depths are home to the Dark Iron Dwarves and their emperor, Dargan Thurazan. Like his predecessors, he serves under the iron rule of Ragnarok, the Fire Lord, the merciless being summoned into the world centuries ago. The presence of chaotic elementals has attracted Twilight's Hammer cultists to the mountain domain. Along with Ragnarok's servants, they have pushed the dwarves toward increasingly destructive ends that could soon spell doom for Azeroth. Okay, we've come to our first boss. This is High Interrogator Gerston. The Twilight's Hammer cultist Gerston has always indulged in life's finer things: exotic foods, fine clothes, and gem-encrusted torture tools. Day and night, her prisoners' blood-curdling cries echo throughout Dark Iron Clan's infamous detention block. Gerston proudly calls this horrific noise her symphony of screams, and she is always eager to add another voice to the chorus. Mana Burn inflicts shadow damage to a player and drains a portion of their mana. Psychic Scream causes all player within 81 yards to run in fear for 4 seconds. Shadow Ward Pain. Pain inflicts shadow damage every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. And Shadow Shield surrounds herself in a dark shield, absorbing 475 damage for 30 seconds. Okay, after many trash and some wrong turns, we come to the wrong boss for the detention center. This is Belgar. He is not one of the ones that you're supposed to defeat in order to get through this dungeon, but here we go. The monstrous molten giant Belgar lumbers across the Dark Iron Highway. A stunning feat of dwarven engineering carved into Blackrock depths, Ragnaros pulled the giant from the heart of the Firelands to guard a massive sealed door at the end of the highway. According to legend, only the Fire Lord and the Dark Iron Clan's highest-ranking members know what lies beyond the mysterious gate. Now, as you can see, this is a bad pull. We picked up some trash, patrol pack. And it was a bad pull on my part. And I ended up dying from it, but the group actually ended up coming out on top and defeating the boss. But first move is Magma Splash. Players who struck Belgar with melee attacks will suffer fire damage every 3 seconds for 24 seconds. Magma Splash stacks up to 3 times. Spawn of Belgar inflicts fire damage to all players in random locations and summons a spawn of Belgar that will aid him in battle. And then spawn of Belgar. Defend Belgar in battle. Alright, we are now on the first boss of what we're actually supposed to be defeating. So, this is Lord Insidious. Baron Geldin taught Insidious to harness his destructive powers, but the Baron never expected the protege to grow so lethally efficient. Increasingly wary that Insidious might usurp him, Geddon sent the blazing elemental out of the molten core to guard the Dark Iron Dwarf's fabled Black Anvil. Firestorm inflicts fire damage to all players in the selected area of 10 yards diameter. Firestorm will inflict fire damage to any player in the area for 3 seconds for 30 seconds. Fiery Burst inflicts fire damage to all players in the selected area for 20 yards. Mighty Blow, and then Curse of the Elemental Lord. Alright, we are on our last boss here. We find the Phineas Darkfire. Phineas Darkfire actually patrolled down to us in the middle of this fight. So here we go. This is actually the second and final boss of the Detention Center itself. Phineas Darkfire. Chief Architect Phineas Darkfire earned his title by passing off the ideas of more gifted Masons as his own. His arrogance and scheming have drawn the ire of his predecessor, Franklorn Fortright, from beyond the grave. The ghost of the late Chief Architect seeks to reclaim his incredibly powerful hammer, Ironfell, from Darkfire before it can be used for ill. Holy Strike inflicts holy damage to a player. Devotion Aura. Phineas Darkfire allies then by 1080. Holy Light heals himself. Kick interrupts any spell casting, and Seal of Reckoning. They damage heals themselves every time a player damages them in melee combat. So I'm going to get these turned in, and then we'll get queued up for Sunken Temple. Okay, this is Sunken Temple, also known as the Temple of Hatal Hakar. Thousands of years ago, the Garubashi Empire was plunged into civil war by a powerful sect of priests, the Altar-Ai, who sought to summon to Azeroth an avatar of their god of blood, Hakar the Soul Flare. The Gurubashi warrior people exiled Altar-Ai to the Swamp of Sorrows, where the priests built the temple of Hatal Hakar. Ysera, aspect of the green dragonflight, sank the temple beneath the swamp and assigned wardens to assure that the summoning rituals never be performed again. Okay, this is the first boss we're going to take on in this dungeon. This is Jamal N, the Prophet. Jamal N is the current leader of the Altar-Ai, the extremist sect of priests who fanatically worshipped Hakar. While in deep meditation, Jamal N received instructions on how to resurrect Hakar by using the blood of his dragonic foes, the green dragonflight. Jamal N and his undead bodyguard, Ogum, the Wretched, stand ready to oppose any who would prevent Hakar's return, though the Prophet's actions may unleash upon Azeroth an even more terrible force, the Emerald Nightmare. Healing Wave heals an ally Flame Strike, inflicting fire damage to all players within 51 yards in the target area, and additional fire damage every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. Earth Grab Totem immobilize the player within 81 yards for 5 seconds. Hex, Jamal On, the Prophet, hexes a player, increasing their damage by 400%, transforming them into and causing them to attack their allies. Let's see. That's it. This is a long fight due to that hex. I tried to ask anybody who can remove Hex to remove it when it got placed on a player. That certainly would have made it go a lot faster. Also, I think there were some connection issues with the Warlock and the Death Knight as well. So, but we managed to get through it, though it was a long fight. Okay, we quickly jump into the our next boss. This is 2 of the 4. This is Wardens of the Dream, and this I believe is Dream Scythe and Weaver. 4 promising young drakes accompanied Ironicus into the temple of Tal Hakar, eager to prove themselves by serving a great and powerful worm. One by one, they were captured and tainted by the Emerald Nightmare, and they now wander the halls of the Sunken Temple, lashing out at all who intrude upon their waking dream. This is, like I said, this is 2 of the 4. This is Dream Scythe and Weaver. And next we'll have Morphus and Hazas. And they defend the shade of Ironicus with their lives. One of them has Acid Breath, the other one has Wind Flap, which knocks a player way back. Alright, we're making good time here. This is Avatar of Hakar. Hakar was notorious for demanding sacrifices from his followers. Many millennia ago, he instructed the Altari to bring forth his avatar, using blood ritually drained from the living victims to feed him. The Altari priests now seek to raise Hakar's avatar with a modified version of this ritual, one that involves sacrificing green dragons. If the Altari succeed, the re-emergence of Hakar's avatar could spell doom for Azeroth. Cause insanity. The avatar Hakar drives a player insane, causing them to attack their own allies for 6 seconds. Players driven insane will attack 50% faster and move 80% faster. Curse of Tongues. The avatar Hakar curses a player, reducing their casting speed by 50%, and Lash. Avatar Hakar lashes out at a current target, stunning them for 2 seconds. In addition, Lash has a 10% chance of disarming the target for 5 seconds. Okay, from here we go into the other 2 of the Wardens of Dream. This is Morphess and Hazaz, and they have the exact same moves as the two previous Dream Scythe and Weaver. One does a wing flap that knocks you way back, just like you see there, and the other one has a acid breath. Alright, straight from the Wardens of the Dream, we go into our final boss. This is Shade of Ironicus. Ironicus, former consort to Ursura the Dreamer, was sent to guard the ruins of Atal Hakar and prevent Hakar's emergence. Once within the temple, he and his group were corrupted by its dark forces and became a Shade, pulled between realms of Emerald Dream and the physical plane. Despite his corruption, Ironicus may still call upon his powers as a green dragon to spew corrosive acid at his enemies or trap them in a deep slumber. Deep slumber lulls a player into sleep for 8 seconds, stunning them and making them invulnerable. Thrash, Shade of Ironicus, thrashes his current target, attacking 2 additional times. War Stomp, stunning all players within 51 yards for 4 seconds. And Acid Breath, inflicting nature damage instantly and additional nature damage every 3 seconds for 30 seconds to all players in front of him. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode today, guys. I hope you guys like what you watch. Running those dungeons, they're not very popular. People don't run them a whole lot. And as you saw in the detention center, we got lost quite a few times. I think we killed a few extra bosses we weren't supposed to before we figured out we got it back on track. So, including my own death in that dungeon, which it's the second time I've died in a dungeon. So, the first time being a wipe. So, if you guys like what you see and you want to see more, hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video around with all your friends. Leave a comment down in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you get notified every time a new episode goes online. My name is Rob. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We're getting closer to our 50 subs. That's our next big goal. That's what we're aiming for. So, until the next episode, guys, always remember, take care of yourselves.